Yep.
Are you meditating, Ben?
Yes.
Kids keeping up with it, night again. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this planning commission meeting of the village of Lannon on Monday, Thursday, January 26th at 6:30 p.m. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Bennett. Grimm.
Here.
Ellis.
Here.
Tannen.
Here.
Haley.
Here.
Summers.
Here.
Gates. We have a worm.
Statement of public notice.
Has been posted.
Discussion and possible approval of the plan commission meetings from 11/17/22. We're doing November's because we weren't here in December.
I'll make a motion to approve November minute.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Citizen comments. Please direct all comments to the board. No disruptive behavior, please, and thank you. Do we have any comments? Any comments? Moving on. Discussion and possible action regarding enforcement action at Rock Point Way for lack of signage.
Would you like me to take this one?
Sure.
All right, first of all, I owe an apology to the planning commission and specifically to you, President Summers, in preparing for this. I went back and reread the developers agreement. Scouring for anything that would give the village authority to make them put that road sign in. And here, as I've included in my comments, they have to put it in when the village and the village engineer tells them that they have to do so. So that's been an oversight on my part. So I discussed this with Kevin Sawal yesterday. They indicated, as I put in my comments, that put an Amazon beacon in there, but I told them it's not just Amazon, it's DoorDash and all kinds of other deliveries. I told them that they should put at minimum on their temporary sign that they need to add entrance and Rock Point Way to that. They have contacted a sign company as of today. Kevin let me know. I have not given them any specific direction about putting up the street sign yet, and that's certainly something that we can talk about. So their plan for the permanent location of the sign is in the center of that drive. It's very wide. There's going to be a landscape median installed this year, and the road sign is supposed to go in the landscape median. I don't see any reason why they couldn't put in a temporary pole behind the back of curb off to one side or the other and get a road sign up as soon as we tell them to do so.
Did he move that sign when we met with him? He said he was gonna move the sign over.
He
I don't
moved it.
Yes, he did.
He finally, a week before Christmas.
Okay.
But there's nothing that denotes the entrance. There's no road sign, there's no nothing.
Just the sign, like the developer sign.
And he's been talked to about this since October. Ben's brought it up to him multiple times. The other morning, I'm checking my blood sugar at the kitchen table and there's a FedEx guy walking past the window of my house. Dude, what are you doing? I'm looking for Rock Point Way.
Yeah.
Is there an apartment number? Yeah. Does this look like an apartment? He had walked all the way back and rang Jeannie Crosby's door.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, all I would like to see is, like you had suggested to him a while back, entrance Rock Point. Um. The last snow we had, somebody drove back by Jeannie's, came out, tried to drive up in my yard to get out. At 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's. My wife's car's been run into, they ran over her flower pots.
Okay. The thing is, I see that you made a comment here, Ben, that, but it's concerned about work occurring in the winter. It don't take much to put a 4x4 this way, a 4x4 this way, you put a post this way. It can sit on top of the ground.
Yeah.
So,
No, I double checked. There's not I mean, after this week, there'll be some frost, but nonetheless, to
it ain't gonna move you
put a
know,
wooden post in the ground and put a street sign up.
yeah.
should not be a problem.
I'm sure that someone could drill a hole in that ground up there.
Can't they can put.
So the discussion for the item specifically talks about enforcement, and I was kind of going through the developer agreement, looking for enforcement, and when I found this paragraph, I realized, we should give them a clear directive and a time frame. And then obviously that would set the clock ticking before discussing enforcement. That's my thought.
So
So
we say how long it was gonna take him to get the sign done?
he said he just left it at within 2 weeks, they're gonna add the entrance to the temporary sign that's there. But I talked to him before I found this. So if you wanna give him a different time frame, that's.
As long as, I would make a motion that the sign has to be installed before the next plan commission meeting.
And which sign, the road sign or just the entrance?
It's something that locates the entrance to Rock Point.
I think we should make it clear that he should continue to put the signage entrance to Rock Point on this temporary sign, not let him cancel that. Right. And then
Yeah.
also put a post in with the street sign. We like to do both.
Yes.
And then that way, when he does put that island in, he can move everything to the island, but at least. This all the temporary stuff has to be done by the next plan commission meeting. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Now, what do you want to specifically work on?
It was entrance sign and Rock Point Road sign.
So like Rock Point I'm envisioning a street sign on like a 4x4 post, green with white letters.
Yep.
Rock Point Way,
And some.
And then for the-
lights.
yeah, reflective. And for the entrance sign, I already told him reflective letters, but to get like an 8-foot. Not
Whatever
8
the
foot,
width of
8-inch,
his sign
8-inch
is.
tall letters. To just screw something onto his temporary advertising sign rig there that says entrance.
Just one on each side, like you said, in reflective letters. That will be so much appreciated.
Is there gonna be like an arrow pointing?
They'll end up across the road.
Well, they have been in the yards across the street looking for it. Yes, Doctor.
I would recommend that the motion be amended to instruct the village engineer to confirm if the motion is passed, the expectations of the plan commission, citing the relevant portions of the development agreement, so that there's no question that the village needs to commit some kind of enforcement action.
Amended as per. Vector.
Second.
We have a motion and second for the amended motion. Do we have any more discussion? Anything else you need, Ben?
Nope.
Hector?
No, sir.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on approval of plan of operation for Backbeat Marketing, Main Street, Lannon. I spoke to Chad who is with us tonight. There's a question on that address, Ben.
Yep.
That you've got addressed in here. I talked to Chad. Explained to him we have to have the correct address on this paperwork. And I asked him to come in that we had any questions from the planning commission, we can get them addressed this evening because he is applying for a grant and he needs his occupancy permit. And he would be the first person in that building in a year and a half.
Yeah, I think it's been vacant for a while. So Ken Stone is my neighbor. We live right up the street, right over the border in Mountain Falls up on High Point Avenue. I grew up there since 1989. My folks have lived up there. I've moved back with my dad a little over a year ago. And I started a business last year. I work in the music and entertainment industry. Worked in the sales side, and I've launched a independent rep firm representing manufacturers in the Midwest states. I'm the only employee right now in Wisconsin. I do have an employee in the Chicago area that works remote. Eventually I will hire an admin person. Ken and I discussed, and he says, yeah, it's been vacant for a while. His brother actually lives in the blue house. And so I struck a deal with him to rent basically a third of the property. Basically one side of that has the three rooms. And I have an office in one, and we'll use storage for the other, and then hopefully another office in the other one when I hire a new person. So there's not really much signage I need at all. I might put a little sign on the door. There's no renovations I need to do, anything, you know. Pretty much, I'm just using it as is.
And this is, if I may, this is the building that was Okinawan
Yes,
Martial Arts. It's in that same
Yes.
space, not the house.
Yep.
Okay.
It's on their site plan, it says 19010.
Right.
And that's the odd side of the street, but is there a way you can give us the correct address?
According to Waukesha County, it's 19010. Is the correct one. And that's what it was on the open.
And is the blue house 19000 then?
I don't know. I'm assuming it is, but I really.
That's what I thought too, but then Ken and I were going back and forth, and the utility bill actually has that building as 19000, and the white house or the blue house is 19010.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Do we happen to have any paperwork left over from ceramic or,
Okinawa, we have the Okinawa one probably.
I have all the drawings too from that time. Ken did pass them to me. They all said 10 on the end.
because that, he could use that too for a site plan and, parking spots and stuff and so forth.
Yeah, everything's the same as it was in that plan for the karate studio. I'm not doing anything different, so all those plans are the same. I looked them over, that's all. I'm not doing anything. Do that.
So then the problem here is just, well, it's not really a problem. The problem it really is always, we need the exact address. And also, is this business renting this space, you wrote yes. You didn't put the building owner's name and phone number on your sheet.
I must have missed that. I apologize.
That's in section D.
I can amend that and resubmit it. That's fine.
Do you happen to have? the name?
Yes, Kenneth Stone. And I can give you his phone number. His phone number is 262-271-1397.
And Ben, you said the address of the business is 19010?
So I don't know. Waukesha County JS, both the house and the business are on one parcel. And it says property address 19010. It doesn't distinguish, okay. What's the house number, what's the number on the building, it's just property address.
What's on the tax rolls?
Probably one tax roll.
What about electrical, though, the electric company would probably, or is that all one bill also?
There'd be 2 meters.
Yeah, it should be 2 meters, right? So I think you would go with whatever address electric company would have.
That's what Ken told me. He says that the building was actually 19000. And then the blue house was 19010 as far as the utilities was concerned.
Yeah. That's going the wrong way and that's also odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the odd side of the street.
That's odd.
This is change it to the utility company address.
That would be whatever, yeah. Cause that would,
They may not differentiate between the two buildings.
I know the house next door that's further closer to Landon is 19090, so it's also even. So. When you look on Google Maps, it has that house is 90, so
Well, the one to just basically the west of.
yeah, closer to Landon.
Okay, then that would be 90,000,010 going towards the falls. Somewhere in
It's like
reverse,
it changes east of Custer Lane to the even side.
and then also it increases in, yeah, it would be increasing because it's going to the north, so it is gonna increase. So the further you go north here, the numbers, so. The building is 19000 then. And the house would be 10010.
Well, then that would put the 10 on one side of the building and 90 on the other side of the building.
No, I said the building is 000, and the house, the blue one is 010, and the house to the east or south of that separate property altogether, you said was 090.
It's actually, so it's on this
The one
side.
that's back in wood.
Yeah, back in the woods is 90, so the building is in between the blue house,
Right,
which
yeah.
is considered
yeah.
10.
One point in time, whichever.
Someone
building
will.
was at it.
Yeah.
Just so we identify the building correctly.
Does the village pick up businesses trash?
No,
I already, Ken, we signed up with GFL. And so I have paid for that building.
Cause on waste hauling, you said village contractor, so it wouldn't be the village contractor then. You've got a
Oh,
separate
whatever the-
contract with GFL?
The green, yeah, whatever the green, so he called them and then I paid an extra like $180 for the year, and they dropped a couple trash cans.
It's not us, we don't have to worry about it.
So then we gotta cross off village contractor on waste hauling.
Oh, okay, I apologize,
No, that's all right.
it just looked all the same to me, I was like, oh, the same cans that everybody else has, alright.
we need to also get the site plan with parking spaces and all the other stuff.
I think they could pull that from the last outfit that was in there, cause
I'm just checking that now.
Yeah, I have copies of those too, I can email those to anyone.
Well, we don't have any problem with this that's going in there, right?
No.
So we just need to do something.
Couple of pieces of information we.
Then will you be able to finalize the address of one way or another?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just scouring the tax bill and stuff here. The tax bill has both properties under one address, and that's the 19010.
So should we just use that address? Sure.
That's the legal way,
Right.
Um. Wow, so looking at the Okinawan site plan, there is a CSM or a plat of survey, I could say. And then he just kind of downloaded information off of Waukesha County GIS. So I would almost suggest rather than reusing that old site plan, they just make a new one off of Waukesha County GIS. It's really easy to do.
Okay.
I mean, I could send you the old stuff as an example, but then that'll give you something to update. What is, may I ask what your email address is?
Chad at backbeat.marketing.
No .com or anything?
Nope,
Can we ask you about your hours?
I just normal business hours. I'm usually there from 10 to 6.
If you might work on Saturdays or Sundays?
Not really. You know, I might stop in there every once in a while, but nothing, no.
We just like give you as much leeway as possible, so no one ever can say, he said he'd never be there ever.
Oh, okay,
Saturdays or
all right.
Sundays.
Sure, I will work sometimes on
Maybe
the
might be there 9 to 6 on Saturdays,
Yeah, sure,
maybe Sundays.
maybe.
Holidays,
No, not planning them. No holidays. No holidays.
You can tell yourself, it's not in my planning.
Yeah, no. I will extend if any of the city needs any audio lights, staging, anything, you know, for any events or whatever, you just let me know. I can arrange, no problem. I work for speaker manufacturers, lighting manufacturers, and music, you know, instrument stuff and stuff.
east of the well.
So we're,
Is that still a septic there, Ben?
Yep.
That's a solar only goes down.
The property, that field. It stopped short of the 3 houses, or the 2 houses in the building, it stopped short of.
The water doesn't.
Water doesn't.
Basically goes to the intersection of Custer and Main Street.
so we settled the address,
Yes,
19010.
19010.
so that leaves only the site plan.
I make a motion to approve the plan of operation for Backbeat with the notations, the changes that we made on the plan of operation. And that he also will get us a copy of the GSI site plan. Or site plan for the GSI. GIS.
Or any kind of site plan drawing.
Yeah, like I said, I have the old ones that I actually just blacked out the karate studio.
Oh, Ben suggested.
Yeah.
Get a new one.
And a new one.
Sure.
Just get us a new one.
I would like to go with that. Anything else after? No, sir. Ben? Nope. We have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi,
Opposed? Motion carried.
welcome.
Welcome to land and
Welcome, Land.
you're on the right side of the road now.
Now we do
deal.
business.
Thank you.
No problem. So do I just email the plan to, he's gonna email me and I'll email him back?
Yeah.
And,
I've copied the clerk on here too, so you can reply to both of us.
okay, and then what's the next step after that?
What business?
You'll have to probably call the fire department and the building inspector for your occupancy, just so you have the. Paperwork
Okay.
to send to the.
All right.
Yeah, that was gonna be a question. If there's no interior changes, does he need a complete inspection or just have him do a walkthrough and that'll cover it? Okay. So the Falls Fire Department will come through and do an inspection on that. That's very important piece, because you're new to town.
Well, it really don't matter, anybody going in that building would have to have it because, that's.
Well, it's been vacant for a couple of years and it's better to find out before. And as there are no changes, there should be nothing, but falls is our fire protection.
Okay.
So, and that, everything works for you with that, Brenda? Okay.
Discussion and possible action regarding KCOM proposed building on an adjacent lot.
I can take this one. So, this is the lot between KCOM and Budline, formerly owned by Gary. Yeah, Sewer Pack come out and do an updated wetland delineation. There's no wetlands on the property anymore, according to that delineation. And he reached out to talk about possibly putting up a building. I believe you have a proposal from basically a metal building manufacturer that's in your packets. And he wanted to know, hey, could I do something like this? The property is zoned business. I don't know what he wanted to do with it. It's feasible. He is interested in, if he goes through with it, doing sewer and water, having storage on the inside, etc. I included with my comments, the very last page is the excerpt from the zoning code on architectural requirements. And as you can see in the ordinance here, there's not a lot of specifics. It all kind of boils down to it's subject to plan commission approval. So told him that it would be appropriate for the plan commission to discuss this and give them feedback. And then I also just want to add in here a little reminder that when the urban planner / landscape designer submitted a proposal, one of the things they were asked to do was help the village come up with a design standard that could maybe add some more specifics. So I have no idea what the time frame is on this particular project. If the planning commission was still interested in revising standards, I don't think it would be a bad idea to go ahead and do that, but nonetheless, that's just kind of what it is. He was curious in getting feedback from the planning commission.
I have a question, Ben. Some time ago, we came before us, and there was a question whether or not the grading that he did was legal.
Correct.
And that hasn't been determined.
I know that he did it without an approved site plan, so that's what that
We never
is.
got a permit to grade anything.
At that time, it was still wetlands. It went, cleaned them out. That's why there's really no wetland lands left in. Oh, well,
This owner has a sort of a history of anything that's discussed at the plan commission is conception or whatever. If you don't like it, he just goes ahead and does it with and put up a garage is not what I envisioned on a Main Street scenario of the Village of Landon. That particular building belongs in an industrial park. He's got to make a building that kind of like aesthetically looks nice as an entrance alongside that building of his coming into the houses.
Well, the other thing last fall or whatever, he had like picnic tables in the back they're like what he discussed he was going to do, but never.
He did it,
Yeah, I know he did it, but,
and we told him he could,
yeah,
So he
so,
lied to the building inspector, and he told the building inspector, we approved it.
see, I see, Steve, you pulled out yours, and guess what? I brought mine too. You know, it's like, well, if we say no, the building will get built.
Don't start slapping him with money, fine.
I agree with that.
So it's hard for me to, I don't think it's in the plan commission's point of view to design a person's building plant property. Come to us with something you wanna do. Complete package and say, you know, like this place across the street that Quentin the Betty Ann's, they came with a beautiful set, this is what we wanna do, this is, what- you know, and okay, you know, we could see something, this is what we wanna do. You come to me with a drawing of a barn. I mean, they built one down in the quarry, I can't see it because it's down 100 feet, you know? That I could see every day I drive by, so I'll hit my feedback is, I'll deny it. I'll vote to deny it.
I'll make a motion that, we postpone, the, agenda item number 9 indefinitely.
But why don't we just make it, instead of that, why don't we just make a motion to deny it?
Well, if we postpone it, indefinitely, it never has to be brought up again.
I'll second that.
well, first of all, don't you have to give him the opportunity to bring in a site plan and, or what he plans to do with any of that? I mean, don't we have to give him that opportunity? Hector?
Well, in your conversation with him, did he indicate that he was gonna make a presentation, or did he just ship this off?
Interesting thing about that, he wanted the commission's feedback. He was well aware when he submitted this, that this was not a complete application. For one. I suggested that we put on the agenda just to get the feedback, right? He reached out earlier today and said, oh yeah, I never, you know, heard back from anybody, just table me for a month. And I followed up with him and I said, well, here's my comments, you're in the packet, I think we're gonna discuss it whether you're here or not. So here we are.
Yes,
Well, it is true that the last page of the materials are not specific, but they do provide a context for evaluation. In other words, they don't say absolutely no, or yes, these things are acceptable, but instead, these rules basically, the guidelines say, in the context of the neighborhood where this is being proposed, these things can be taken into consideration. The submission here is little beyond the sales brochure packet. I think you would be within your authority to deny consideration of this matter because of the absence of contextual information. Where on the site is this gonna go? Where's the traffic gonna go? Where are the cars gonna be parked? If there are no cars parked, he contemplates possibly storage. How is that loading process going to take place? It almost makes the building secondary to what he's attempting to do. It seems to me that what he's trying to do is to see what he can get on the building and then figure out what the ultimate use is going to be. And that's very backward approach.
Well, I'll amend my motion, I'll make a motion to deny.
Second,
and we have a motion and second to deny Does anybody else have comments?
This particular application,
Yeah, due to insufficient.
insufficient information.
And he can resubmit it for next.
Oh, can we add something in there that if he makes any more changes?
Come back to us with a whole new application.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he's coming.
a new application, there's really nothing here, just a building.
The million work on it.
There's something other than say if you do this. it's gonna be-
If you continue to do this, you start finding money. That's all.
Okay. Okay, so we have. Motion and second to deny this. Any more discussion? Any more comments after? All in favor to deny?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item agenda 10, adjournment.
Second, let me add something though. I've had numerous conversations with this gentleman. Most of them like you've experienced in the past. And Hector is correct. He's basically wanting to put up a building because he's got the land and he's gonna figure out what to do with it later. And possibly even 2 apartments. So I think we gotta nail down the use first, then make sure the building conforms to a use. But
Oh, he's got to come back.
yeah,
We have a motion and second to adjourn. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. And,